Here are 12 ways to stop feeling like you are being judged by other people. Do you always feel like you're being judged by other people? Do you feel like people judge you unfairly? Does it bother you? Let me show you how to deal with the feeling of being judged. People are terrible judges of others. They usually have limited information. For example, they don't know you well enough. They have a limited understanding of the context around your behavior. They have a limited understanding of what's motivating your behavior and your values. And they also have a limited subject matter expertise of whatever is happening, the matter that you're dealing with. On the other hand, they also have large biases based on their own beliefs and values, which can be flawed or maybe not apply to you. And their views are based on their own limited experiences and their own emotions that they might be feeling like even insecurity or even threat by you. So not all judgment serves you. Let me share with you a story. When I was about 10 years old, there was a kid called Elvis who started to lead a movement to really annoy me at school. He went out of his way to spread bad rumors and even create this song about me saying that I was cheating after I refused to take part in sharing kind of answers of an exam with the rest of the class. And I always took pride in being honest and ethical, so this fake rumor bothered me so much. I started to avoid everyone at school. I had no friends, basically. During the breaks, I'd search for the hidden safe spots with adults so I could be alone. But no matter what, these guys still managed to find me and sing the songs and say bad things about me. And I'd keep imagining these replays, these responses I'd give to Elvis and his crew every day, but in real life I would just struggle quietly. And Elvis and the school haunted me even though I really liked school and learning. So when I finally moved to another school, I thought my problems were finally over until Elvis and some of his people showed up at that school too and continued what they were doing before. So after 3 years quietly agonizing from all of this judgment that Elvis and other people had of me with my hair, I had short hair at the time, with my looks, they thought I looked too boyish, with the way I acted, I was too quiet and hiding. Then he disappeared and all of this ended, thanks goodness. And I never saw him again. So I left. I went off to live my life. I left the state to study out, and then I left the country and I went abroad and I had an entire career. And then 15 years later, I returned home because it was usual. I would come back to visit my parents once a year. And then in that moment, I had this powerful re-encounter with Elvis and an even more powerful realization. So I traveled home for the holidays like I usually did, and I went to visit a gym where my parents had started going to, and my mom wanted to show it to me. And I couldn't believe it when I saw Elvis there. I looked and I'm like, that is Elvis, and he looked just the same. And he also recognized me on his way out, and we chatted briefly in a very civilized way. But in that moment that I saw him, this rush of anger from all of those bad memories that I had from him and the things that he said about me, and all of that came back to me. Then, after our conversation, that anger became pity. And then soon after that, I felt very good about myself. I felt confident in myself. I went on to live my life, and sure, that was really hard those 3 years, but after that, Elvis did not impact my life, and I'm happy with who I've become. And then I thought to myself, how did I allow this guy, who I never had any admiration for, who I never wanted anything with, I had no respect for, to control my well-being for 3 years? And in that instant moment, I overcame all of those toxic frustrations from Elvis, and I felt this intense feeling of liberation and confidence take over. And I never thought about Elvis in the same negative way again. And in that moment, I also realized how it made absolutely no sense to let random people's judgment of me ruin my happiness. So not all judgment serves you, my friend. Judgment always feels like a threat, but most of the time it isn't. And in the few moments where there is a real threat, you actually have more influence over it than you think. And remember that not all judgment is equal. You can't really get rid of others' judgment of you because people are just have that trend, that nature. But you can police it. And it's your job to regulate that, access doors to your own life, to your own sanctuary. So whose judgment are you worried about? How relevant, accurate is that judgment? And how can you respond to that judgment? Let me share with you 12 questions to help you know when to not take judgment too seriously in your life? Number one, will their judgment matter 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? If not, it's not that important in the grand scheme of your life, just like with me and Elvis. 2, can their judgment cause you any real harm? Because not all judgment is going to get you fired or leave you miserable and alone. Judgment is a natural part of human interaction experience, and if it won't harm you, then let it go. If it may harm you, then you got to open up that dialogue by asking the other person what they think directly to you. That gives you the opportunity to understand really what's going on in their judgment, their thinking, and influence the outcome, influence their perception of you. Number 3, does the judgment have any significant meaning to you? Is it going to impact your goals, your dreams, your vision? If not, let it go, because you got more important things to do and more important things to worry about. Number 4, are they actually judging you? Did they say something, or is it in your head? Is it based on something, a face that they made, or what you think they're thinking of you? So if it is bothering you and they haven't said anything, then ask them what their opinion is. Ask them to say it out loud. Ask for specific examples and facts, and that way you'll know exactly what's going on, and you'll remove that assumption that's going on in your head. Number 5, do you admire and respect them? Are they someone that role model what they say? Do they live by high standards? Are they somebody that you look up to? If not, then why worry about their judgment, right? Number 6, are they well-intentioned towards you in what their judgment? Do they honestly want to help and support you? Or do they feel threatened by you? Or do they feel insecure? If they're not well-intentioned, ignore it. Number 7, are they knowledgeable enough? Most people's judgment is flawed, like we talked about. Do they have enough knowledge and experience to be good judges of your character and actions? If not, let it go. Number 8, do they understand your perspective, right? Do they have enough understanding of your situation, your background? Then either let it go if it's not relevant, or give them the context and fill in the information gap that they need. Number 9, do you agree with their expectation of you? Because judgment happens when what is noticed, observed by the judger person is not aligned with what is expected, right? What they expect from you. So in that case, if it does matter, align your expectations with the other. Make sure that you have that conversation around expectations. For example, if your boss is judging you, you think they're judging you because you're using all of your vacation days, and you think that you should be using all your vacation days, then you need to have that expectation conversation with your boss. 10, do you want feedback on that specific topic in that moment? Does their judgment serve you right now? If not, ignore it and let them know that you don't need their perspective right now, maybe to come back later because you didn't really ask for it. Number 11, is the way they are delivering the judgment serving you? Are they just saying bad things without actionable insights? Then it's not productive. If it matters, then ask them to give you actionable feedback with examples, facts, impacts, and suggestions so that you can actually use it for something. Number 12, what does someone that you actually admire and respect think of you? One person's opinion of you is not a fact. Get a second opinion, get a third opinion to get more perspective. Know whose judgment matters, know what judgment matters, know when judgment matters. And if you decide to allow judgment to enter your door into your life, then engage in open and honest conversation with the person making the judgment. Clarify, question, reflect, and you're going to see yourself free from any Elvis in your life. So the key takeaways are, you can't stop others from judging you, but you can stop it at the door and prevent it from causing you unnecessary worry, rumination, and frustration. Random people will always have random judgments of you. Judgment ends up revealing more about the person judging than the person being judged. So don't let it ruin your day. People generally do a very poor job judging others because they have a limited information about you, about your intention, your context, and they have biases based on their own beliefs, values, experiences, and feelings. Judgment always feels like a threat, but almost always isn't. Not all opinions others have of you will serve you, and not all judgment of you are equal. So choose what you'll listen to wisely and then assess who, what, when judgment matters. And when judgment does matter to you, then open up for dialogue, ask for their honest opinion, for specific examples and for suggestions. Thank you for allowing me to serve you today. Check out the full article. You can see it in our blog. We have infographics and audio in the blog post link below. Be confident and caring, my friends, and have a beautiful day.